Hot dog with a lot, mate. There's tomato sauce, the onions, microwave, all sauce on the white strides. Not very clever, but that's right. And it's 2:15 in the morning, and here we are in the Gold Coast. Hey, and this is the real world.
Bob's changed a lot since he came to Australia. He's much more relaxed. In England, it was a lot of hard work, which we still do hard work here, but there's also a lifestyle that goes with the hard work. Whereas in England, it was just work, work, work.
Girls, excuse me, seriously. And I'm just saying to these guys, how nice Australians are.
The Gold Coast can be very fantasy land. It can make what you want of the Gold Coast, really.
It's lovely, it's the Gold Coast, it's Australia. It's not England, mate, there's no violence. Two lovely birds this time of night, you know, it's excellent. Hi, girls.
I keep a close eye on him. But I always say to Bob, I don't mind where you get your appetite as long as you come home to eat. That's about right, isn't it?
Look at those lovely bodies. Look at that lovely body over there. She's gorgeous. Named right up to her front. Tomato sauce, HP sauce, Heinz ketchup. Disgusting taste. I really wanted to do something different to what I did in England, you know, and I sat there up at one of the bars there on the Broadwater there and looked over and I saw all these lovely, gorgeous girls walking down in bikinis. I just thought, now's my chance for a lifestyle change. Bit better than asphalting those flat roofs in Luton and Northampton.
Gosh, it's hot today, isn't it? It's got a bit left in the diary, please.
Yeah, as you can see, we live on the water, and there's a lot of these canal developments here on the Gold Coast. They're all man-made, and I'm lucky enough to be able to go to work every morning in this boat and just cruise down this 6-knot area here. When I get to the river, I open up a bit, and I'm there within 10 minutes. It's a fabulous way to go backwards and forwards to work, you know, and I always feel for those people back in England that are stuck in traffic jams. Well, this is my traffic jam, you know. I perhaps have to avoid a couple of pelicans or something like that, and that's about as tough as it gets.
We came over in December '88. We had a family discussion. I spoke to Vicky, my wife, about it. And she was really game, you know, and the kids were 5 and 6 years old.
We thought we'd like to give the children a bit of a chance, and I'd been doing the same job for 20-odd years and pretty fed up, must admit, you know, and just come to Australia for a holiday, and I like the lifestyle. And as you can see, this really is paradise.
We were very happy in England, but bored. With the children, for instance, there was nothing to do with them for 7 months of the year. Simply because of the climate, I think. What can you do with them in the winter? You can't go out for a bike ride, it's too cold. You know, we'd walk the dog.
For the kids and that, you know, they have to keep them indoors. It gets dark at 4:30 in the winter and all that, you know. And out here they're surfing, out in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning surfing, before they go to school.
I remember England as being cold and, I don't know, boring, not as good as it is here. I prefer Australia because there's heaps of surfing. England's so boring. Can't go anywhere. Or, yeah, there's nowhere to go. It's really boring.
Bringing up teenage kids is hard, really hard for me. I went to secondary modern school and they had private education. I worked really hard and they seemed to doss about, you know.
Go to parties every weekend and have fun and surf. every day.
Go out in the cars, cruise around.
Ride bikes. Not really much. If we lived in England, probably reading books on the library or something.
And they're great kids, you know, and there really is an age gap that I have a problem dealing with, and Vicky handles it without any problem at all. And as I get older, I find I'm trying to close that gap. The family is more important to me than anything else, than money and anything whatsoever. The family's number one.
Well, I totally agree. It's quality of life as opposed to quantity of life in England.
Dear Diary, before I give you any recent news about my utterly thrilling whirligig of a life, I think I should at least tell you a bit about myself. I'm a pale-faced, neurotic 15-year-old show-off, and I live in the land of Oz. I was actually born in Hammersmith in London, where I lived until a few years ago. Then we moved to Somerset, which wasn't fun. I've been in Australia for 3 months with my parents, my older brother, and my 4 younger sisters. I was actually very against the whole concept of Australian life, with Kylie, Jason, Rolf Harris and Peter Andre to represent it. Then I got a letter from Damon Albarn of Blur. Perhaps I should explain. Damon and I have a strange, almost twin soul connection, and I've been writing to him for the last 2 years. He sent me a book, Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, and inside the front cover he wrote advising me to come to this amazing country. I listened to him and left Heathrow Airport on New Year's Day to fly across the globe until I reached the lucky country. My name is Lana Locke. That was the news. Now here's the shipping forecast.
I don't think that people in England realise the lifestyle Australians enjoy. We're very, very lucky to be here. This is absolutely position A. And just coming into the marina now, I have my lunch up here virtually every day and a few beers at night before I go home. And I've got an old paddle steamer which I have for an office, and this is where I work. I had a pretty boring job in England. Building industry is hardly you can get excited about it. When I came to Australia, I did something totally different, and we took a gamble, didn't we? And we started the water sports company, and it's sort of exciting. You meet different people. It's a little bit like showbiz, you know. It's like you break loose and you can be totally, totally different because nobody knew me. It was a fresh start. And calling myself Aussie Bomb with a Pommy accent, you know, I mean, sure.
Taken a bit of flack over that, haven't you?
Oh, it wound everybody up, but it made people sit up, and it's sort of promoting yourself. And, you know, we were instantly quite liked. This particular industry needed a bit of attention, and we just made it very Australiana, everything green and gold, and we were proud to say we were Aussie Bobs and we're an Australian company.
It's still quite funny, isn't it, when people ask us, they also say, what part of England do you come from? We say, oh, Northampton, which they've never heard of. And they, 9 times out of 10, did you have a water sports company in Northampton? Which is hilarious. We always crack up laughing, and they think, oh, what have we said that's wrong? I mean, imagine paraflying down the Nen, or...
At the age of 38, I was almost able to reinvent how I wanted to live my life. If you go to a new country, it's quite possible to really decide what's going to fulfill your nature. When you're in your old country, there's so many inherited sort of behavior patterns, I think, aren't there? Also, one digs oneself deeper as one's life goes on into certain behavior patterns, doesn't one? Most people of my age, a lot of people of my age are very crystallized.
We're
in the forest clearing, really, with these slightly shambolic bits. And what I like about this is that you're living in a clearing, and there's one room here, but your bedroom's over there in one train, and your working place is over there, and then here's the dining room. Here's the dining room through here.
Well, here we are in Paradise Waters. It is paradise, isn't it, really? Low maintenance garden, we just hose it down every day. I haven't got very green fingers, so I'm afraid the flowers aren't very blooming. But we spend a lot of time out here, just beautiful. And this is the middle of winter.
Well, here we are in the breakfast room. Very luxurious breakfast room. Here we have our tea. I like to spend at least an hour and a half reading things. And it's a very luxurious place with the light just coming up over the trees.
This is our living area, which is very open plan, just to let the sun shine in all the time. We've designed it so that the colours of the carpet reflect the colours of the terracotta patio outside and the blue waters of the river.
And then here I have where I paint. This train I bought for $500, and the crane dumped it here. And it does make a beautiful place to paint in.
Very relaxing here. We just wanted the inside to flow with the outside, which I think we've managed to achieve. Lovely and Brighton area, very cool in the summer. And in the winter, we don't really need to warm it up because it doesn't get that cold, because this is the middle of winter, which I keep saying, but I still think we're lucky.
This is the bedroom where we sleep, and it's the nearest thing to sleeping outside. Sometimes birds, an owlet nightjar the other day, flew in from one side across there. And what's so particularly marvellous, I think, is the way all through the night you can see the stars as the Earth's moving, and at different times of year the moon's doing different things. And the landscape itself, the clearing is illumined, and you sometimes see animals moving across it. So it makes a really delicious place to sleep. Well, there was a wonderful moment after I'd been here about 2 months when I was travelling by train at night through very hilly country in Queensland, and it was wonderful bouncy hills with big trees with strange fruits on them and palm trees. And I was staring out, you know, where you do on a train at night, staring out of the window, and I suddenly thought, I love this place. Why, I'm going to stay here. In a way, I've become rather settled here in this strange bit of scrub, but I am perhaps a nomad half the year. I set off in my van with no particular place in mind. You know, I'll get as far a bit beyond Adelaide, and then I'll see a rather curious hill, and I'll go and camp in a bit of forest behind it and draw a piece of woodlouse's shell for 2 weeks. It's something which wouldn't normally be a way of living. It's very nice. The Western tradition of painting land has been that the viewer is very much separate from the landscape. They call it the magisterial gaze. You know, a landscape painter sits here with the easel and does this thing on the easel, and out there is the landscape. Now, what's so extraordinary about coming to Australia is that indigenous culture would never do anything like that. You are always part of the landscape. And that what I've been trying to do in my painting is do paintings which are about how we move within landscape, not how we dominate it or look at it from a separate thing. By nature, I am someone who wants to do work which is about how we are all part of some weave of wonderful and strange things. once I actually got into the weave, as it were, that fulfilled my own nature.
I don't want to live in this house. We're only here because my uncle lives opposite, so he thought he'd plant us close by in his wonderland of nasty brick houses. I'm still pretty infatuated with London, because it's the only place I've ever counted as my home. But I miss the misery and the soot and the traffic jams. I miss the buzz and the exhilaration pulsing through people's veins in the street. I miss EastEnders. I'm just a whinging Pom with a touch of homesickness. I'd always come back here, mind. Australia's the kind of country I'm bound to want to escape to when things get too much. I fall in love with the landscapes, but I hate the suburbs and all these houses they keep building everywhere. But for the next 2 years or so, I'm happy to be by the sea. Here, us kids listening to punk and are full of dreams, away from adulthood and so-called reality. Australia is the best place in the world to spend this period of my life, because the young are actually youthful. Unlike Britain, there aren't so many miserable sods or lethargic gits aged 15 or 16. There's a lot more energy, and I love it. I go to a school called Sunshine Beach State High School, which, as the name suggests, has got a lot to do with beaches. So there's a fair few girls with blonde hair and bronze skin and all that, who like to spend time rubbing their surfers' boards for them and telling them how wonderful they are. Which I'm not particularly interested in, but it's certainly amusing. Although some people go too far, like there are a couple of girls known as Barbie wannabes actually, because they bleach their hair and stick their chests out and put lots of makeup on when they go to school and all that. But that's what they're interested in, so that's them. Dear Diary, I'm suffocating here. You see, I'm a little raver at heart, and being all cooped up is bad for me. Don't tell me off, but I wrote a letter to Damon Albarn the other day. I haven't managed to get him out of my system. I've only ever told one person this, but I think I have to admit that sometimes, in the depths of heaven and space, I actually do feel that I might be in love with him.
I've usually got a cigar on. If you don't tell my wife, I smoke about 30 a day, or these little ones, and then a couple of Romeo and Juliets a night. Mind you, I don't smoke cigarettes, so I suppose that's some saving grace.
Yeah, but the beer bill's gone up a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, we drink a lot more beer than we used to drink in England, because it's pretty traditional at the end of the day. I always have a beer with the boys. You know, a couple of coldies, mate, you know, and discuss the day. And Aussies like that, you know, you've got a bit male bonding, you know, have a beer afterwards and that's a good excuse.
Well, the girls are like that. I mean, if you go and visit a girlfriend at a home, I don't think I've ever been offered a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. It's always a glass of champagne, a glass of white wine. Yeah. Always.
Always.
So consequently, when girls come and visit me, I wouldn't dream of putting a kettle on. I'd think I was a real wuss, wouldn't they?
Argos has heaps of Christmas gift ideas. For a precious mum, for a gorgeous girl, for a talkative aunt, for your prettiest daughter, aren't they all? For your star performer, for the spaced out twins, for your handyman, for your own special spice. Please them all at a price you'll like. Pick up a December copy of Argos Plus now.
First I was afraid, I was petrified, thinking maybe I'm not cut out for the countryside. I should have stuck to guinea pigs, I should have really stayed in town. If I'd known for just 1 second that I'd get the runaround. Okay now, whoa! Don't go through here, stop messing about now. Take your snout out of my ear. Aren't you the farmer with the bull that's colourblind? Do you hear a rumble? Do you think I'm out my tiny mind? Oh no, not I will survive. As long as I've had Weetabix, I might just stay alive. I've got a safari park to do, an alligator with the flu, but I'll survive.
Have you had your Weetabix? The new Toyota Corolla, the car with the big following.
In 1996, Esso launched Price Watch. We promised that wherever and whenever you saw the Price Watch sign, the price of our fuels would usually be among the lowest in your neighborhood. How? By checking over 14,000 of our competitors' prices every day and adjusting our own. That's why 1 million more people have switched to Esso. So it's no wonder Price Watch's popularity just keeps growing and growing and growing. Esso Price Watch. We keep watching, so you keep saving.
BT only charge 1p per minute for a local call at the weekend. Just 1p. And it's even less with BT's friends and family. So you can spin out a conversation without worrying about the bill. BT, it's good to talk.
Strepsils are now also available sugar-free. New sugar-free Strepsils.
The Australians have accepted me because in 1985 they started calling me Aussie Joe when I made the comeback. It was like saying, here's an internationally known athlete who comes and settles in Australia, we'll adopt him. And they did, which made me quite proud because I never thought in a million years they'd call me Aussie Joe.
Thanks a lot, mate. How you going? We're going to see my old mate Joe Bugner. He's going to have a bit of a punch-up with some Fijian guy. We're taking the boys, my kids, Joe and Max. Going to have a good night. You'll see plenty of cheers and old Joe Bugner, an absolute gentleman. You'll see a good fight tonight. And old men still can put it together. Joe's 47 years old and he can still whack 'em. I wouldn't want to take him on. Anyway, see you later.
I think it's good that we're over here. Dad's pal, going to watch him fight. It should be good. We've done it once before and it's good. Father-son family night out.
I'm gonna go out there and win. That's what I'm gonna do. Have a bit of vodka. Very nice. The Aussies actually like an up-front bloke. They really do. Maybe that's what they like. I think the fact that Australia has been declared by so many Brits and so many politicians as, you know, the land of the ex-convicts, that maybe they have matured far quicker in Australia than have in England. You know, it's more of here, in this country, people want to see more into the future, whereas in England, there's still tended to be in an aristocratic nonsense living, you know, where if you didn't go to the right school, then you don't belong. Whereas here, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, this country is very straightforward. My problem was I would not go with the flow in England. I would not lick ass or bum. I would not, you know, sort of suck up to people. I have my own way of acting. I have my own way of behaving. And sometimes it is not the way that the British media or whoever like it.
I've had this incredible good fortune each year to wander off in my van. Recently I've been going a lot to Tasmania. It has some sense that it's the uttermost parts of the world because it's the nearest bit to the Antarctic. In fact, it only separated some thousands of years ago. It has a very curious feel about it. It's one of those places that people, once they fall in love with it, come back again and again. The most amazing things happened here because it was the bit between tectonic plates, so huge mountains like Cradle Mountain shot up from deep under the earth. The light here is a light which is so ancient. This extraordinary dappledness is quite beautiful, isn't it? And all the creatures that live here, and the lichen, and the patterns on the moth's wings, have all got this dappled, speckled quality. Sitting in the silence of this forest, you feel you're in touch with something incredibly ancient, which covered a large amount of the globe. This is so extraordinary because it's about how much of a huge amount of the world was once. This dark, strange rainforest with everything's growing ever so slowly in a wonderful sense of decay and rejuvenation of things coming up. So this is an enormous privilege to be able to sit in a place like this and to draw. It's something you can experience still here, which you really can't experience much at all in Europe. The extent to which all the older ecosystems have been radically altered is huge. And ironically, the Australian government has made it so that a lot of this kind of thing is going fast too here. Even Australia hasn't learnt the lesson that Europe surely shows, that we cannot get rid of all our old magic forests.
Australia strikes me as a very free country, where pretty much people do what they want to do, and they're not so scared to try. People will start taking piano lessons when they're about 30 or something, and we'd never do that because we think it's silly or whatever. But here they think, well, why not? Let's take a chance. Let's do it. And they've taken some of our cynicism, but at the same time, they're very optimistic about life and what you can do with it.
Oh, there's got to be something.
There isn't. Not
There's got to be something. This is not utopia. What thing you like?
I can't think of anything I don't like. Just, you know, it might be things you don't like. I can't think of anything I don't like about it.
Huh?
And it's living, isn't it? I mean, life's not perfect anywhere, but we're pretty close to it here, I'd say.
I think the only twinge we ever had is when we got our new house. Yeah, we got our new house, and there was, I don't know, 100 boxes.
180.
Was that
180
180 cartons, and we sat on there, and we'd left our lovely house in Welton, Northamptonshire, in the country, our lovely big stone house, whatever it was, and we sat there on the boxes, and I thought, oh shit, what have we gone and done? I looked at her, and I thought, Bobby boy, you've done it this time, and I wasn't quite sure, and you just have a go, and this place is just great, it's well worth it, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I mean, at least you've got the weather. Even if you're doing it tough, you've got the weather.
We came to Australia 5 years ago. There were 4 of us then. Our youngest was born after we arrived.
Like most people who emigrate, we'd no home of our own to go to at first, so we went to a migrant hostel.
Not much to look at from outside.
Things I miss about England are pickled cockles,
My mates,
my mum,
my golf,
my nice car that we left in England.
the beer.
That wasn't a very long list, was it? Until 10 months ago, we were living in a 1-bedroom flat in Newark in Nottinghamshire, in negative equity, with Charles sleeping at the end of the bed. Craig was in a job that wasn't really going anywhere. I'd got my own business which wasn't really going anywhere, working very hard, with my mother looking after Charles, and we decided it was time for a fresh start, so we came to Australia.
My father's been out here for 20 years in Australia, and he gave us the opportunity for us to migrate here, and that's what started the ball rolling.
We came here expecting a home and a job, but things didn't work out that way in the end.
Shortly after we arrived, my father decided to sell the business, which unfortunately meant that I was without work. During that time we were actually living all together with my father, which didn't really work out, so we had to make a decision to go elsewhere, and this is where we came to.
The shed was infested with rats, so we lived outside in a caravan and just used the bathroom and kitchen in here after we'd cleaned the place up a little bit. And gradually we had interior walls built and made it habitable and moved in here, which is quite nice now, quite homely. I've never been in an airport before we came here. Never been to any airports at all, or on an aeroplane, or abroad. Oh, I've been to France for the day. That's all, on the ferry, and that's all. I never actually wanted to come to Australia. I never sort of thought I wish I could go to Australia. I just thought I'd come and see what it was like. The wildlife in comparison to England was pretty horrific. We lost a cat
and a dog to paralysis ticks, which again we didn't have in England and didn't know the symptoms. There were lizards in the house, keeping the rats company, and the spiders were as big as your hand. There was a range of beetles and a lot of green tree frogs coming in the house.
Praying mantises?
Yeah, the praying mantises, they fall out of the ceiling sometimes, and they're very long, and they've got long feelers on the front of them, and they're not very nice. Plus all the other delightful mosquitoes and everything else that Australia holds. But I think we're getting used to the wildlife now.
But the hostel was never meant to be a permanent home, and we knew it. We bought a refrigerator for the home we hoped to build. So we began studying the homemaking magazines and the house for sale advertisement.
Although things did seem quite bad, living in an infested tin shed and all the bad things that had happened to us, I think as we burnt our bridges and made the break from England, we thought that we'd like to stay and try really hard to make it work and not just give up and throw the towel in and go back to what we'd done before, because we wouldn't have achieved anything then and it wouldn't have been worth it. So we just sort of struggled on through the bad times until they got better, which they did.
I go away from here thinking I've done a good job and everybody's happy, and that's good. It's a good way to be. It's a good working environment. People accept your best as good enough here, whereas I found a lot in the UK that it was very much the case of your best wasn't good enough, you should always strive for better, and you're under constant pressure, and you came away at the end of the day feeling mentally and physically drained. People appreciate what you do, and they're quicker to be grateful to you than they are to criticise, and I like that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Britain itself. It's the systems in Britain that you get stuck in. You get stuck in like a rut in Britain. We did, which is very difficult to get out of if you stay there. We don't put any onus on possessions here, or not as much onus on possessions here. It's very important to me that I'd got things that other people had got in England, that my friends had. It made me quite unhappy that when I didn't have them, and I don't care here. The shed's okay to live in, and while we can live here, it's really nice. But in England, I suppose it's keeping up with the Joneses, really.
Wiping the slate completely clean as we did to come out here then makes you realise that you can get by without all these things. We realised that what we were experiencing in the UK is not the be-all and end-all, and also that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish things that you wouldn't normally dream of.
Make someone happy this Christmas.
That's great. No more dishes.
Come to Comet.
Out of the blue, from Revlon comes a hairdryer like no other. New Blue Midnight from Revlon. A revolution in style.
Gillian, Belgian chocolate seashells.
Cake bars baked in tiny individual tins, revealed Mr. Kipling. Another of his big ideas. He does make exceedingly good cakes.
150,000? That's millions.
Andrex are giving away thousands of toys.
150,000?
Simply reveal a winning voucher.
Yes, I've won, I've won!
And be a winner with special packs of Andrex toilet tissue.
Share the fantasy. Chanel number 5.
So you were sick last week, were you? Apparently you felt terrible.
I had the flu.
But when David spoke to you on Friday afternoon, you seemed all right.
I was beginning to feel better.
You said you had the flu. We're talking temperature, aches, shivers, headaches. Yet you were able to pick your way through the finer points of Far Eastern futures. I'd love to hear your explanation.
Lemsip Max Strength. Next time you're ill, you try it.
Lemsip Max Strength. Hard-working medicine.
Make someone happy this Christmas.
Great. Telly for the bedroom.
Come to Comet.
This is a traditional Aussie treat, the Aussie famous barbie. And we have lovely steaks, eye fillet steak, which is very, very cheap here in Australia. Sausages, which they call snags. And the one thing about Australian sausages are they're not as good as Pommy sausages. Let me tell you that. They have not mastered the art of making the sausages. So if there's any good butchers out there, they can get over here and make a bloody fortune.
I don't know how many people are coming out. 20 or 30, doesn't really matter with barbecue. You know, a few prawns, a few steaks, and see how the night goes, really.
And we've got your prawns, we've got your green prawns. Again, living here in Australia, prawns are like 2 a penny, mate, 2 a penny.
You get invites to all sorts of parties, and the mode of dress at the bottom will say Gold Coast casual, which means go for it. Sequin dress to the floor, pair of jeans and a skivvy. Doesn't matter, which is fabulous. So you certainly don't have to worry about your wardrobe.
Most Australians like their meat really well done. We're a bit more of a class act coming from England, you know, a bit more of a connoisseur. We have it medium rare, but this is it. It's a feast.
Everyone should take care of their appearance. No, I haven't gone to a lot of trouble, she said. No, just always want to look your best, don't you? I think. You always want to look your best, and just, it's how life finds you.
Dear Diary, I don't have any boyfriends in Australia at the moment. Probably my main love interest, you could say, is Adam, because he was the first Australian I kissed. Sidonia's Adam's band, and I like to hang out with them. I know that Eric fancies me because he makes it pretty obvious, telling me what a great wife I'd make and how beautiful I am and stuff. But he's also said that he and Adam had a discussion. They decided I was prettier than this other pretty girl I know. Adam says that he does like me, but he's got a girlfriend. Eric asked me to come for a secret dope session in his room. I was hanging for some good butts, so I eagerly followed him and closed the door behind me. Then Adam comes in and accuses me of cracking onto his drummer. I set him straight, saying, "You don't care anyway." "None of my business," he replies. "Perhaps you don't realise how much I care about you," I said. He said that we needed to talk sometime. "Does this mean I can't kiss you?" I asked. I stink of sweat and my breath stinks of smoke and alcohol. I don't mind. And in the blink of an eye, his lips were pressed to mine and his tongue was in my mouth. The only problem... Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that, that's too saucy.
She's a top bird, she's a good-looking bird. You know, she's 45 years old. I shouldn't have told you that because she won't tell you. She never puts on an ounce of fat. She looks absolutely gorgeous. We've been married for 18 years. Not only I think she's a lovely, lovely bird, but she's my mate. And when the going gets tough and sometimes you have crap in your life, she's a good one to lean on. And she's always supported me, so I love her lots, but I probably don't tell her enough. No. You just go in there and organise that end, and I'll do the cooking. No, English girls are probably a little bit pliable, I suppose. Australian girls, they seem a bit hard. I don't know, I'm a married man. I can't really give you the full gen on that one. But the ones I've met, they like a good time. And, how can I say, they're probably a twinge on the feminist side, to be honest. I suppose they've had to put up with the blokes for that long, you know. They're going to be a little bit tougher, aren't they, you know?
In Northampton, the barbecue, let me tell you.
Aussie girls are always willing. But our English friends who come over, their girls are all right.
They give us plenty.
Nah, but Aussie girls are more like, oh, let's go out, party, meet
No,
some-
but you can't
meet some
say that. You
boys.
can't say that because we haven't been into England for, I don't know, about 7 years. So you can't say, oh, Australian girls are better than English girls.
With no teeth. Sorry. I think I'm probably more akin to Australian women than to English women, because Australian women accept you on face value. In England, I still do remember it's very much a class system. And I remember at parties there were two very important questions that one was always asked, and it was, what's your husband do for a living? And what car do you drive? Terribly important in England. Here they couldn't give a monkey's nuts.
I've always loved a whole lot of things about English culture, but I came to the conclusion that there's something about the English ethos that is curiously about a culture in decline. I find too that there is an extraordinary emphasis on marvellous wit and being just incredibly sarcastic or amusing. In Australia, I think quite often you'll have a more boring evening, you know, but there will be people who actually feel that they might find something out about really important things.
No, I don't know, but he shot off a couple of revolvers, for Christ's sake. Yeah, bang, 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 and everybody's...
I think we should get many more optimistic enthusiasts.
You know, tomorrow we're going at 10 o'clock. Well,
What I missed, really, were the eccentric poems. I love eccentric poems. When you came here, did you find the eccentricities that you missed in the UK?
It's the same the world over. Wherever you go, like in England you get eccentric people, but you get eccentric people here, but they're diminishing. You know, because, you know, everybody's got to be bloody politically correct all the bloody while. And then if you've got a little bit of flair or something like that...
Bullshit. Australians are just nice, quiet people. We have to import our eccentricity. You guys do.
Yeah, everyone should stumble home at 6 o'clock in the morning, early hours of the morning. With my auntie, she just lives around the corner, so she's always around when there's free alcohol. She'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, damn, got to work. So
off to work they go.
Sucked in with a hangover.
That'll teach him. I always say, don't drink if you go to work.
Party, drink, bit of work, party, drink. But also brandy and coke. Not bad at all.
Drink up, good health.
Dear Diary, did I mention that we are the train-spotting generation? Lots of film critics suggested the film would have its greatest impact on a generation too young to watch it legally. That's us. Half a year ago, I wanted to come to Australia to experience life and smoke dope. I'd read about the amount of dope here. And that's pretty much come true in an explosive and wonderful way. I am young. America's youth is fucked up with money and stress and horrible ideals put on them to be clever and pretty and good. British kids are fucked up more from trying to be cool and like everyone else. But we grow up too quick and don't have enough time to just let go and do what we want. But in Australia, there's not commercial signposts telling you how to behave. And if you're 15, you say, I'm 15, not I'm 18. And the adults will still regard you as old enough and still know that you've probably done a lot of drugs and had a lot of sex. It's just more relaxed, I think, and not in a bad way. It's like you could be the true you, not the personality of you, but the true you. You is you.
I came from a half poshish, well, my mother was sort of reasonably poshish, my father was a bit of a unposhish, but I lived in the west of England in a upper middle class kind of way. My uncle, Sir Willoughby Trevilian, sadly spent most of his life in a mental hospital, and his father, Sir Walter Trevilian, was a drunk. What I found coming to Australia was that I could very much be more myself and just feel that people just took me as I was. You very often know where you stand with Australian friends in a way that you don't so often with British people. I remember when I was coming here in 1976, there I was, arriving in Bangkok on the way here, all excited on my great trip. And I was staying in this hotel, some crazy hotel, I think it's called the Malaysia, with all manner of strange people. And I went into the bar and there was a woman who turned out to be Australian sitting there on the road. And as I was on my great trip, I thought, oh, well, I'm going to be proactive now. I'm going to, make myself known and things. So I went over to her and I said, do you mind awfully if I join you or something? I said. And she said, she looked at me straight in the eye and she said, yeah, mate, I'd love a beer, but no rooting, okay? I didn't actually know what rooting was, so I wasn't any the wiser, but later on I thought, what an honest, straightforward way of doing things.
Since the last time I spoke to you, I have stopped smoking cigars. So, and it's 8 weeks down the track and I'm not smoking cigars. But I can't give the booze away, and I mean, I'm not an alky or anything like that, I'm just a connoisseur of fine wines and local ales. But no, I'm not prepared to give anything else away. Hopefully the lungs will get back intact, but the liver will have to fend for itself.
Quite a lot of British people I meet in Australia, I've been disappointed with, or I've steered slightly clear. But I have a feeling that there are quite a lot of British people, and this is probably a terrible thing to say, who weren't actually very good at what they did back there. And when they got here, they became into quite exalted positions. And they sort of stick to a certain kind of insular British way of looking at the world instead of celebrating the new country that they're in. An artist never feels he or she is successful because you always fall so short of what you hope might happen. But somehow or another, and in an uneven way, just enough money keeps coming in from me doing exactly what I want to do. One is ridiculously lucky, isn't one? In that so few people have the good fortune to spend each day doing what they want to do, and above all, having the sort of time to have daydreams and reveries and quiet time so that the deep down important things can unfold.
I'll never be Australian. I'll always come from England, from London, and that's never going to change. You can't change where you come from. You can change where you go, you can't change where you come from.
I'm proud of England, yes. Proud of my heritage. I'm proud of Mum and Dad, how they brought me up, but I just think maybe I was born in the wrong country.
I think we're Australian. No, we're English.
Australian.
English, but Australian, sort of.
I was born British, but I chose to be an Australian. And I'm Australian, and I'll die an Australian. And will not come back to England because I am totally convinced, I think my wife is and my kids definitely are, we're Australian. I'm not knocking England, I'm not having a go or anything like that, but this is my new life and it's a new chapter and we're Australian. Mind you, the Aussies think I'm a bit of a pom the way I talk. But you throw in a few good days and things like that and it confuses absolutely everybody.
Next week, the people who ran away, escaping England to find home sweet home with the Aussies. The last of the Pommy stories, next Thursday at 10. Coming up next tonight, impressive intergalactic tactics in Babylon 5.